They don't need a data engineer at first. They need a web developer. Start with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, these three things. So start with the basic. Talk a very broad aspect. A data scientist, there is a data scientist, there is a data analyst. So both can work in a parallel.
So what are the skills that are required for data analyst? What are the skills that are required for a data engineer?
So you should be good at Python firstly, because
Whether directly I can become, or first I have to start with data analytics.
if you are not very good at coding or very much not comfortable at coding, you can start with data analytics. Okay, so pandas is a common library between a data engineer and a data scientist. So I'll mention some topics that you can do.
Next step is ML engineer or AI engineer. So what is the roadmap that you would suggest for them?
AI is like a earth.
And how much coding knowledge is required?
Very much required, because you can like in interviews they can ask, but in starting these are, yes, it is required.
I also have to Google and learn about this big data. So what is the roadmap for data scientist?
Extra technologies will be coming. These three are the major things.
It is very less chances that a fresher could be a data scientist.
So I will not suggest to start with a data scientist.
హాయ్ గైస్, మన ముందు ఈరోజు ఉన్నది అనురాగ్ అనమాట. ఇతను 4 years ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్తో డేటా ఇంజనీర్గా ఇప్పుడు చేస్తున్నారు కాంటెక్ట్లో. మీకు చాలామందికి డౌట్ ఉంటుంది, డేటా అనలిస్ట్ ఎలా అవ్వాలి, డేటా ఇంజనీర్, డేటా సైంటిస్ట్, మషిన్ లెర్నింగ్ ఇంజనీర్, ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్, ఏఐ ఇంజనీర్ బేసిక్గా. అటువంటి ఏమైనా రోల్స్కి యాజ్ అ ఫ్రెషర్గా ఎలా ఎంటర్ అవ్వాలి అనేది ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి డౌట్. సో టుడేస్ పాడ్కాస్ట్ మోస్ట్లీ విల్ బీ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్, ఎందుకంటే అనురాగ్కి తెలుగు రాదనమాట. అండ్ అనదర్ థింగ్ ఇస్, అనురాగ్ ఆల్సో హ్యావ్ అ YouTube channel which he is running from 4+ years, right? Be a programmer. Yes, where he also teaches about data engineering and all the stuff. He has experience of teaching, he has experience of making videos, he has experience of data engineering and all. I thought he will be the best person who can give you a roadmap and give you the guidance on how to become a data analyst or data engineer or anything that you are aspiring for. And we will also discuss what is the salaries for that data engineering or data analyst roles, how as a fresher you can get into that roles, and what else we will discuss. We will discuss the roadmap
how,
like from beginner how a person can get into that. మీకు కూడా చాలా డౌట్స్ అనేవి ఉంటాయి కదా. సో ఎస్, నాకు చాలా మంది అడుగుతుండేవారు కాబట్టి ఈ వీడియో అనేది చేస్తున్నాను. సో ఈ వీడియో ఎండ్ వరకు చూసిన వాళ్ళకి ఒక సర్ప్రైజ్ రిసోర్సెస్ అనేవి కూడా ఉంటాయి. సో మిస్ అవ్వకుండా, స్కిప్ చేయకుండా ఎండ్ వరకు చూడండి. చాలా యూస్ఫుల్ పాడ్కాస్ట్ అవుతుంది. లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్. హాయ్ అనురాగ్ అగైన్.
Hi.
Yeah.
Swaroop, thank you so much for inviting me firstly.
Also accepting the invite also. Thank you so much. So my first question to you is, how they can identify whether data scientist or these roles are actually for them or not, or they can make it as a career or not. Yeah, over to you.
So basically, yes, it is happening because of hype. We are just seeing 10 peoples and all the news on the internet, and we are just getting fascinated by these things. So basically, don't do that just in the start of your college, or if you are into a first year, second year, something like that. So start exploring. So basically, if I give an example, like there is a business, say, okay. So for a business, if it is starting, they don't need a data engineer at first. They need a web developer. So start with the basics, like they need to build a website. The website is built of that business. Now 10 businesses are there. The similar kind of 10 business are there in the same locality. So how they can, like a website is there, they have the customers. Now how you can excel, like that business can grow. Now they have the data of the customers. Now what will do, if a data engineer or a data scientist will talk a very broad aspect, that is a data engineer is there, or a data scientist or data domain person is there, they will try to target the future audience or the same audience by the previous data that is stored. So that kind of things, that by that the business grows. So same happens in the companies also, like in a broader aspect or a high level aspect, that there are two things. There is a web dev, there is a like web developer, and there is a person who is working in the data domain, different roles. So every person has a different what we say, a role basically. When you will get into a company, slowly you will understand the difference between these, and they want to grow the business. So in starting as a college student, if you want to know about the basics, and if you want to like understand about basics, you should start with the HTML, CSS, so that you can understand that how the website is working, how the data is getting flowed. So learn about front end, then back end, connect those two. Then learn about database, that how the database can be connected to a website and we can collect the data basically. So these are the things that I'll suggest to the people who are just starting.
So I'll just summarize for them. First of all, if you want to get into this data scientist or data analyst role, you have to see what actually this person are doing in the industry. So what work are they doing? So they are going to analyze that data. In the name itself, it is there.
Yes.
Data analyst analyzes the data. Data scientist, he builds the models and all. Data engineer, he plays with the data. We will get into those all roles in depth. First step is a programming language, which I mentioned like a level 1 thing. Programming language, build backend with it, HTML, CSS, connect those both, then learn about database. After you learn about database, what you will do is you got an understanding of how website work, how data is getting inside. Now based on this, how Anurag said that example of a business. For example, my father has a shop and some person is buying milk from my website, and along with that milk he is also buying bread. So for example, I have the data. So again, if he comes tomorrow or another person adds milk into his cart, so because I have data of another person, so I can also suggest bread is something that you can purchase. So that will grow the business. Here is where data engineer or data scientist benefits comes. Because of this data analysis and all these things, a business grows. So there is a growth of business, because of which the demand for these roles are also there. Now we have understood that we have to go through the basics and all. Let's understand what are the next steps. Just basic understanding of it is required. Now let's understand what are the actual roles that are there in the data field fresher can do in that, or roadmap basically.
So firstly, I'll explain you with an example, very simple example. We'll take one business, and suppose a very renowned business or anything, like take a example of, there is a business called as Myntra. So what a data analyst will do, data analyst will see how the, say suppose a sale is going on. Now data analyst will see in the sale how much people, suppose I am a customer or Swaroop is a customer. So basically what he is buying, and in the next sale day, if I want to give him a coupon, like 100 rupees coupon, so that he can he can do a shopping more and the business grows. So that is the kind of insights that I will fetch out and see that which kind of products he is buying, or which kind of product a common like area person is buying, say Andhra Pradesh people are buying, like that. We'll target like that. So basically that is the work of a data analyst. They will analyze the data, they will see the data and make some insights out of it. Next thing is like of a data engineer. So basically there is an application of Myntra, there is a website of Myntra, and there can be different sources like Instagram and all, from where businesses or people are getting redirected. So all those things are the data. Here the concept comes of big data, like different one click things are also getting stored. Your one click is also getting stored. What will happen in this particular case, there are different sources of data. So a data engineer needs to unify all those data into a single data warehouse as a MySQL database or something like that. Like you can assume as that. So they will analyze and they will collect all the data at one place. Now the game of a person comes, that is a data scientist. So what they can do in the next year sale, what a strategy can be done so that the sale from this year can be increased. So they will build the predictive models. So these are the basic, what we say, very basic aspects of what a data analyst, what a data engineer, and what a data scientist does in a business basically.
Okay, what is, so you said data engineer will clean the data,
They
basically
will collect and clean
they will collect data from all over India.
Yes,
and
from all the sources, like
all the
their
sources,
websites,
and
apps.
they will say, okay, this is entire Bangalore data, this is cleaned, so it will give to, so they will give it to data analysts basically.
Yes, they will keep at one place.
Okay,
the data scientist and a data analyst
use
both
it,
can use it,
utilize it,
same data.
and data analysts will analyze the data,
Yes.
and based on the insights and all which data analysts have given, data scientists will build models.
Yes, something like that, but not exactly. A data analyst and a data scientist can work parallelly. Like what will happen? A data engineer, the first job comes of a data engineer. They will collect all the data, they will keep at one place. Now, a data scientist, there is a data scientist, there is a data analyst. So both can work in a parallel. Simultaneously, they can do their task, because data scientist is working on the predictive analysis. Like they are predicting, like after 5 years, what they can do, or after in next sale, what they can do, so that it can increase. And data analyst is what they are seeing, that which are the top 5 products, or what are the product that I need to give to you, or a coupon I need to give to you, so that the sales are increased. There are two different aspects. So predictive model analysis and different the second person, the insights they are fetching, like which product is giving the highest sales, something like that.
Okay. Again, insights are also very, very important.
Yes, insights.
Okay. Based on these insights, again, data scientists can get some insights from here.
Yes.
Correct. I understood now. These are like roles: data engineer, data analyst, data
On the wider
scientist.
aspects,
And what is about machine learning engineer?
Yes, machine learning engineer are also there. AI engineers are also there.
So what they
basically,
will do?
Yes. So basically, a machine learning engineers majorly works on the model building or algorithm building, something like that they will do. Like they will build the algorithms, they will train the models so that it can do the predictions. A data scientist can also work as a machine learning engineer, because the roles, what we say, the roles are very pretty much, the skills are pretty much common. And the AI engineer also, they will build some the chatbot or something like that, so that you can ask some questions. Like it is on a very high level aspect that I'm telling you. Yeah, like that they work. Like it is very common roles. Like it can, a data scientist can also work as a AI engineer, upgrade some skills, and they can do some, like build some what we say, you ask some question, okay, on your basis. Now a chatbot needs to answer that, so AI engineer can build that model basically. Data
Correct.
scientists cannot build
These
that
are
model.
like advance of data
Some
scientists.
common things,
Okay, okay.
like that.
Okay. Now that we have understood what actually these people, data analyst, data engineer, and all do in the industry, now I wanted to understand the roadmap. So, if I want to become a data scientist, whether directly I can become, or first I have to start with data analytics. So, if I want to start with data analytics, what are the skills that are required? Give roadmap for each and every specific role.
Firstly, I'll suggest, like people who want to switch, like people reach out to me and ask me, like they are from different domains, want to switch or start their career in data analytics. So firstly, if you are not very good at coding or very much not comfortable at coding, you can start with data analytics. Okay, that is the very basic thing, and you can start with. So firstly, the first skill is Python, that you should know. Next thing is SQL, that you should know. And like analyzing the data, how to analyze the data, that comes with the practice. That can be done after, when you do all these skills like separately, then in the projects it can be done. Then SQL and Python is done. Now comes the data visualization tool. There can be any data visualization tool that you can do. But visualization tools are very much common, like can be Tableau, it can be Power BI, it can be Looker Studio, anything you can start. These are the major things. And Excel also you can add it, because when the data is small, you want to just see the 10 rows or 100 rows of data. So on the Excel, we basically clean it or analyze it. This is the roadmap of a what
Data
we say,
analyst,
data analyst.
basically.
Okay, so if we go in the depth of this one, that is how much Python is needed and how much SQLs are needed. So I'll mention some topics that you can do. Start with the data analytics. So basically, you should be good at a list, like list, how a list is working in like background also you should know. Okay, then dictionary, how we are storing the dictionary, how it is getting used. Do some problem solving questions also, so that you are comfortable with it. Okay, after that, pandas and numpy is there. So these two libraries are used. Okay, it is very common between a data engineer and a data analyst, because there are some functions that is used for data processing, there are some functions used for data cleaning. So these two libraries also you should know. Then Python is done. Now my Python very basic thing is done. Now go into SQL. Now SQL is one of the major things that you will be seeing in all the data domains, because SQL, like we are dealing with the data only, so SQL is very important. So start with normal select clause and do some good like experimentation on select clause. And you will be doing like DML are there, then DDLs are there, then DQLs are there. These all things are there. Just basics you do, and also work on optimization part, how you'll optimize the queries and all. So these are the basic things. Okay, then get into a data visualization tool that you can build from YouTube or somewhere, like very basic data set you can download and work on that. Data sets are very commonly available on Kaggle or any of the Google websites are there. You can just download CSV files and all. These are the very basic things that they can do, and start with data analytics.
Majorly four things: Python, SQL, data visualization tool, and Excel. The most important question is, for data analytics, how much mathematics is required? Because so many of the students are worried, like mathematics is so much important in that, and how much coding knowledge is required.
So about mathematics, I'll say, like if you are starting, if you are not from a mathematical background, just need to know about the basics of what is median, what is statistics. Okay, statistics common what we say terms are there, na? Median, mod, these all things. Just be aware of this. And I'll say that is not very much required, because you can like in interviews they can ask, but in starting you are not that much comfortable with it. When you are going on go with the data visualization tool, because in that visualization you will be doing these things only: top 5 products, or median of the sales, or mod of the sales, something like this. Okay, these are the business logic questions that can be happening. So on go you can learn. Okay, so that much requirements are not there.
So not so in-depth mathematics,
Normal
but
mathematics.
basic mathematics.
We can Google it, or companies don't ask it basically.
Correct. So this is done for data analytics. So what is the roadmap for a data engineer?
I myself is I am a data engineer and working for about 4 years. So basically there are many different technologies. So I'll talk about very broad aspects of technologies that are required to enter as a data engineer. So first thing first, that is, as I suggested, that if you are not that much comfortable in coding, start with data analytics and you can upgrade yourself. For a data engineer, firstly the common things will come, that is Python and SQL, that are coming from the data analytics. There is a concept of big data that you should know, like how the big data is working. Next is cloud knowledge, because many companies are now shifting from on-premise to cloud only and they are using the services. So cloud you should know. Then there is a data processing framework, basically Apache Spark, because you will be processing this data into one source, so it should be in same format, so that you will be doing. So these are the like 4 major technologies. There can be different technologies, like people can say that there's a use of cell scripting and these all things. So these are, yes, it is required, but it is also required for software engineers also, or and backend engineer also. So I'll not include those into the data engineer. So these are the 4 major things that you should start with when you are entering into a data engineer.
Python and SQL is something that you have explained and people know. But again, if we come to big data and all, I also don't know. So if you can quickly brief about what are those next steps.
Most of the time the data engineers are working on the optimization part. They are building the data pipelines and all and optimizing those, because a very huge volume of data, if I give an idea, like you will be dealing with about 20 terabytes of data per day, like that. Okay. So in my recent project I have worked with the client that was a Singapore client, processing 50 terabytes of data per day. Okay. So those kind of, because in that aspect optimization comes into a part. So optimization is one of the very important things, and in interviews also those will be asked. Python and SQL are done. Now comes the big data technologies. Okay. It is like big data is a concept, like it is more of a traditional data, like traditional data, row and columns are there. Big data is kind of images are also there, videos are also there, clicks that you are doing, that is also there. So
I guess I also have to Google and learn about this big data. Okay, after this big data, what is the next step?
After big data, now if you are done with big data, there is a framework of big data, that is Hadoop, you should know. Then there are different concepts. Okay, when you will learn about Hadoop, there will that concepts will come, and in the resources part, as he said, we'll talk about that. Okay. Correct. Not an issue. Okay, after that a data processing tool is required. Now this much huge volume of data is there. Now how you will process it? There's a framework called as Apache Spark that we'll be using for processing it, basically. Right now, what is the requirement of the companies? They should the person who is entering into data engineering, he should be also aware of cloud technologies. A cloud, they should start with that can be GCP, that can be AWS, that can be Azure, any of the one you can start with, because all the services are very similar. Like if you know about one cloud, you can switch to another cloud. So these are the major aspects and major things that are required for a data engineer.
Data engineering is done.
Yes.
Now the next step is for data scientist.
Yes.
So what is the roadmap for data scientist?
Yes, sure. Okay, so basically now we are aware of Python and what we say SQL. So these two will be common in all the when you will like into a data domain, and the only the things change, that is some libraries will be adding up, extra technologies will be coming in. So in data scientist, basically you are aware of Python, you are aware of pandas, you are aware of PySpark, that is like API of Spark that is using, and we are interacting with Python. Okay, these 3 things we are aware. Now a concept comes of scikit-learn, that is machine learning. Basically now we are introducing machine learning into data scientist role. So machine learning is one of the thing that is very mandatory topic when you are entering into a data scientist, and one of the core things, because you will be building models and you will be predicting that. So machine learning is one of the things that you should learn, and statistics you should be aware of, like how the machine learning models are working, which model should you use. When you see the data, it comes with the practice. When you see the data, which model you will be using. So major aspects, if you say Python, SQL, machine learning, these 3 are the major things. And in this TensorFlow comes, these all are the libraries that we'll be using. And data scientist also works on the refined data. The data is already processed by data engineer.
Okay, there is a data which is refined, how we have mentioned of
clean data
example. Yes. Clean data will be coming to data scientist.
Yes.
So they will be working on models entirely. Yes. Now data scientist is done. Next step is machine learning, ML engineer or AI engineer. So what is the roadmap that you would suggest for them?
Okay, so basically for a ML engineer and AI engineer, common technologies are already there for whatever we are using for a data scientist. Just some, what we say, they are building LLM models and all. LLM engineer also come into the machine learning engineer. Okay, AI engineer also there. AI is like a earth, okay, or a company. Inside that there are different employees. Some department is there that is working into marketing, like sales, like that only. Inside AI, ML comes, and data scientist, data engineer, these kind of guys comes. They can start with, if they are knowing knowing about Python and whatever the skills that I have told into data scientists and
scientist.
data engineers, they can upgrade themselves and
Exactly.
be proficient in those machine. If they are more proficient into building models, they can be dedicated ML engineer. If they are more into
Correct.
building some generative say LLMs, so basically they can get into AI engineer. They can build some chatbots and all, something like that.
This is very cool. Like, we have given all the roadmaps. I hope they have understood each and everything. Most of the thing as a fresher, because most of our viewers are freshers who don't have any much in-depth experience of these all things. From my experience, what I feel is, because you have mentioned data scientist will be building models which will be used for improving their sales, and it is very crucial for a business because Myntra is based on the sales. How much sales they will do, based on that their revenue model and everything will come. It is very less chances that a fresher could be a data scientist. Like, I wanted to understand, can a fresher become a data scientist or not? What are the opportunities for a fresher basically?
You cannot start as a data scientist. You are very good at creating a machine learning model or creating a model that can predict very accurate results. So then only you will be hired. Okay. So I will not suggest to start with a data scientist. So I'll be very blunt about this question. That is, for a data scientist role, the opportunities are very less. So better to start. The opportunities are more into a data analyst role because less risk are there for the companies also. Start with a data analytics role. Now, like as we see that we study first class, second class, third class. Similarly, they start with the data analyst role, then upgrade yourself, or incremental skills are there. Like more skills you add up for a data scientist and you get into a data scientist or after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years.
So first step
like
is
that.
opportunities are there for a data analyst.
More.
Yes, because there is less risk. They will analyze the data. That's all. They will not build any predictive models. After data analyst, there is senior data analyst. After senior data analyst, data scientist is there. If a person or a fresher want to become directly a data scientist, opportunities are very less. But yes, if they have built very good predictive models and it is giving very good results, then yes, opportunities are there. Again, I'm thinking he will join as some assistant data scientist. If I say, he won't be leading those teams. Basically, he will be working as assistant or
Yes. And also I want to mention that a person was there from Pune. I did a podcast with him. He was a data scientist. As a fresher, he entered. So basically, he started as a internships. Then he got a PPO. So it happens, but you should be very good at it and you should be very dedicated. Like you want to get into a data scientist only. So it is difficult also. And but when you dedicate yourself, you can enter into it.
So even if it is a data scientist also, as you have mentioned, internship is something that they
very important.
Companies are also okay to hire an intern rather than a full-time employee because they also less risk. So how to get a job in data analyst or data scientist or data engineer or machine learning engineer? I am a fresher. I have 6 months. I don't have any knowledge. Okay. So what is the step-by-step process that I have to follow? After 6 months, I can land a job or an internship.
So basically, first of all, if you want to get into a job, firstly, as you have understood that you want to get into a data domain, basically, to be very specific. So now you should start with the basics. Better to start with a data analytics role. Firstly, it is easier to get into a job, and resources are also plenty. Like you have plenty amount of resources, and skills are also less as compared to different roles. Start with a data analytics role. Now, as you have done with the data analytics, like basics and skills.
So data analyst role includes like Python, SQL, and
a visualization tool and a SQL,
and
Excel.
Correct. So as we are mentioning the roadmap and all, let me tell you guys. So as you are watching until this part of this video, there is a resource from Anurag. He is also data engineering. He made an entire resource like PDF from where you have to learn skills, what videos you have to watch, what steps you have to take, like from zero knowledge to end. You can brief about your resource, which will be linked in the description.
So if you want a job in 6 months and you are targeting a data domain role, so I have made 2 resources right now. We have like for a data engineer and a data analyst. So in starting, like the resource is having everything. If you don't know anything about data analytics role, it is having everything about SQL, the topics that are important about SQL, because whole SQL we don't need to study. The topics we need to read about SQL. Then Python, what all things are required in Python. I have listed all the resources, and also after learning these skills, there are also questions attached that you need to do. Of hacker rank questions are there that you need to do to be good at it and get into a job. And at the last of the resource, you will get a extra, what we say, a video complement or bonus video. Videos are there, and bonus experience videos are there. I'll say that is how to get into a job, and how to, like, my experiences are there, how I switched, how I got into my first job as a data engineer. So all those videos are there that definitely will help you. Okay, so this is about the resource, and similarly for a data engineer also, same kind of resource and roadmap is there. So definitely in the description it is there, so you can follow out.
You have mentioned Python, SQL, or those things. What is the next step after we learn these skills?
So if you are you have done all the basics, you are comfortable, you have made everything. So now build a project. Project is important.
So how much time
Now,
it will take for this
about
basics?
for a data analytics, on a rough, you can complete it 3 months. Easily you can do it. And for a data engineer, you can do it into a 5 to 6 months. You can do it because extra skills are there. So that can take some time. All those things will be done. Like 3 to, if we say about 7 months, you are done with all those things.
And after
Now,
7 months, we have to start project, or parallelly we have to also?
no, parallelly. That is included. That time is included.
Okay. Project is
For
also
project
included.
also, it is
Okay.
included.
Okay. So
Because
skills are clear now. How about doing the project?
so basically refer those projects, and for a data analyst, majorly the projects are building some analysis dashboards, building some from scratch. Data is there, raw data is there. You are downloading it, you are cleaning it, and end-to-end thing. You are using Python, you are using SQL for analysis. You are building a report where you are using Power BI or Tableau or any visualization tool. So this is done for a data analyst. Similarly, for a data engineer, end-to-end data engineering projects come. There is a raw data, you are downloading it, you are cleaning it properly, you are processing it. After that, you are keeping into a data warehouse. That can be GCP, that can be Azure, anything. You are keeping it and building a visualization tool. So that will help. After the projects, now comes the major part, because a common hiring will not be announced. Like TCS announces the hiring of software engineers. So for data engineers or data analysts, the hirings are not announced. When you are in your 5th month or 4th month, what you do, try to connect with the people on the LinkedIn or the Twitter who are working in the same domain. Suppose Swaroop is there, he's working into data analytics, suppose, for an example. So if I am a fresher, I'll connect with him in the 4th month, and I'll ask him what is going currently in the market and what are the skills for your company, and if they are hiring actively, something like that. I'll make a connection. LinkedIn also, as we see that Myntra is working, these all companies are working.
Yes.
Similarly, LinkedIn also works on the data only. When you search about data analytics, you post about data analytics or data domain, you will see jobs about data domain automatically. Like after 10 days, you will be seeing jobs about that, postings about
Correct.
that. So it will be easier for you to get an interview, to get a job. That will help. So this is the process of getting a job.
So we have discussed about basic skills, project, and then we have also discussed how to apply for a job. Because if we apply in career pages, no results.
No results.
No results, because I
Easy
also
apply also, nothing will
easy
happen.
apply LinkedIn, easy apply also, it won't work, because this is the mistake which I have did. And to solve the same, I have also mentioned, I have also made a entire video on how to get internships or jobs using LinkedIn also, how to network, what is the right way. It will also come here in the I button. And let's go to the next step. Apply is done. I wanted to understand salaries for a freshers. So let's discuss for each and specific role. How a fresher is hired, like data engineer or data scientist. What are the salaries they can expect?
For a fresher, if they are starting as a data analyst, analytics role or a data analyst, so basically they can expect something between 4 to 7 LPA, like something like that.
Correct.
4 to 7.
But mostly these will be remote jobs, right?
It will be remote. It can be in office also. Depends. For remote jobs, you can get more salaries also, like 10, 20, something like that. It depends. It totally depends on your skills.
So the salary
which
for them is
companies.
around 4 to 7 for a fresher.
Yes, 4 to
But
7.
what if a fresher want to enter into a 20 LPA plus jobs into this data science? Because everyone are talking about data is future, data, AI. Because this is booming.
Yes.
Is there any opportunities for a fresher to get
Definitely.
20 plus LPA?
100% it is there, but you need to target some roles that are very specific. That is AI engineer, a data engineer, or a data scientist. These 3 roles are the major things if you want to get a 20 LPA package. Okay, a 20 LPA base package, just divide by 12 or 13 and you will get that in hand. So
Correct.
these 3 skills.
But again, these are riskier, for a
Risky,
company, and student is
it
also
happens less.
Correct. Less opportunities. You
Yes.
have to really work hard. Then only you will
You
get.
should be very different, and you should be very dedicated. You should be very skilled. So this is a not a very common thing that 20 LPA is getting as a fresher, as a base, so it doesn't happen.
Correct. So we have discussed about each and every data role. We have discussed what are the skills required, what are the roadmap for each and specific roles, and then we have discussed what is the 6 months roadmap. We have given a resource. Again, I'm saying it will be in the description. You can go and check it out. Start your journey. There is one last question that is there, like how much DSA is important, because we are dealing with data. How much data structure and algorithms is important?
So when you are getting into your first job, so at that time, yes, DSA is very, very important, because you are building optimized systems, you are building optimized data pipelines. So yes, it is required, a knowledge of data structures is required. If you are like 3 years 4 years of experience, I'll tell my very recent experience. It has been 8 months and I have just switched as a remote data engineer from a service based company to a like data oriented company. In that no questions were asked related to data structures, like provided that I was having a good data engineering skills, that's why. But there are companies which are asking, I gave many interviews, so there are companies which are asking data structure question also. So yes, you should be like aware of this and you should be like habitual of coding and all, because these skills require coding and all, because you will be dealing with very large amount of data. So optimization is the main part. That is
interviews. How to apply? We have discussed network with people. That is the only way that they can get. If you are very lucky, then in career pages you might get a reply. Very rare. So networking is the thing. Now, what kind of questions that are asked in interview?
Okay, so I'll talk on the broader aspect. That is for all the data domains, the majorly the questions will be from Python. The problem solving question are very normal questions, like there is a dictionary or there is a not a dictionary.
These are for again 4 to 7 LPA jobs.
Yes, normal. Like if there is a string, okay, you need to count the frequency of each word, something like that. Okay, problem solving questions. Okay, they will ask to understand your hands-on on your Python. Then in SQL they will ask some good questions that will be on optimization, that will be on Windows functions. Like you can note it down. Windows functions are a very major point. Cumulative sum questions. I'll be very specific. Cumulative sum questions. Rank, dense rank. These all things will be asked. Then lag, lead. These all comes inside the Windows function only. So be very like habitual of writing queries and all, and practical queries that will be getting on the hacker rank, and in the same resources I have also added those. So those things are very important. Then some problem solving. If you are entering as a data scientist, data analyst, so they will ask that this is a data, this is a scenario, give some solution out of it or give some insights out of it. Now your domain specific. If you are a data engineer, they will ask how to optimize a data pipeline. This is the scenario. As I mentioned that about 1 terabyte or 10 terabytes of data is there that I need to like deal with. What can I do? How can I do it faster? Something like that. These kind of questions will be there. So like depends on role to role, but Python and SQL questions, query writing and coding writing, you should be good at.
So yes, we have discussed from end to end. We have started from basics, covered everything, interview questions, 6 months roadmap, and resources. Yes, overall it is a very value added
I
podcast.
think everything we covered.
Yes. Now it's time for you to get started with this. So start with as a data analyst, learn about those Python and all these things. Start from the resources given below. And if you have any kind of doubts or if you have any kind of request for kind of podcast or anything, you can do comment in the comment section. Give a thumbs up to this video and subscribe to this channel for such more awesome podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much.